Hello YouTube, Mastrada here, back with another episode of Star Trek Resurgence. I know that first episode was like 40-something minutes long. I don't know how long the remaining episodes will be. They can be 15 minutes, they can be an hour and a half. But I'll cut them off where I feel appropriate, as I said. We just finished our meeting with Captain Solano, who was an old friend from the Academy, basically one of our Academy professors. Now we're gonna go meet the crew.
Everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of? Jorin?
Well, what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our Chief Science Officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our Tactical Officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time, and I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad, because of what you've overcome.
Yep.
Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves, and you were one of those people once.
Yeah.
But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
Yeah, I'll go through it again.
You really do know a thing or two about me. I'm glad I could inspire you, but it's important to chart your own path.
Thanks. You can count on it.
Oh, she'll chart her own path, don't worry about it.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. I have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
Okay. When ready, sit in the captain's chair. Is he gonna let me talk to anyone?
The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class, meaning it's capable of quick maneuvers. Can't wait to see what she can do. Science Station. The Resolute is a science vessel, primarily. Might explain Commander Westbrook's attitude. I'll have to speak with him later.
Yeah, his attitude is... yeah, he's not very... This looks like engineering. It is engineering! God damn it. Systems display...
So many decks. Full of crew that are now my responsibility.
1, 2... So many decks, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 decks. What are you talking about? Most starships have like A bit more than that.
Tactical station. Hopefully a diplomatic mission won't require we use our weapons much. But if it comes to that, we'll be ready.
And this, I think, is communicate. Yes.
Communications. Keeps us in contact internally and with other vessels.
Alright, let's go sit in the captain's chair.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field, now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
There we go. Hurry the fuck up.
The storm is getting worse.
No shit.
Looks like they turned off
Of
the
course
SIF.
it is.
Great, let's get to that emitter.
SIF, aka Structural Integrity Field. Just to confirm we can't. Yep, we can't run. So this is literally all we can do right now.
Every time we're out here, I half expect to see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
We are on the bottom of the ship.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town.
You can see one of the warp cells.
But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine. A massive, massive machine.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course I do. Starfleet's an open door. We just have to walk through it. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy.
Oh, there we are. Okay.
I wanted to go somewhere. See new worlds. Look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be.
That's true.
Diaz to
Hey,
Commander
here we are.
Chovak. We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Okay. Alright, let's do this. D and click. I need the calibration tool.
Beginning recalibration.
Careful. Too much action and harmonics will deflect the alignment.
Come on. There we go.
Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
Uh-oh.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I am the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
He has a piss poor attitude.
You seem to think very highly of yourself.
With good reason. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd
Yes,
choice
I
for
am
first
half
officer.
Kobliad. not
given your
really
vulnerable
embassy human.
condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then? You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
That's very kind of you to be concerned about my well-being. But you don't need to trouble yourself on my account. I'll be fine.
Well, I wouldn't say I was concerned, just curious, that's all.
Then act curious. Don't
Listen,
act like a dick.
Can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet.
So you say.
His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal.
So you
I
say.
mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill.
Perhaps.
He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends. So I can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
I'm not gonna.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound.
On screen.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wideband burst of ionic energy, like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities all over the ship.
Estimated time.
Red alert.
Red alert.
Aye.
We're not waiting around.
Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's right, which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Shields up.
Petrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
Heading locked.
Raise shields.
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
Blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
Oh, so I have to go all the way back now. Yay!
You've
Okay,
reached
maybe
the
not. We're
first
already
access point.
there.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Alright, level 1 failsafe circuits. Yep, here it is.
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Yeah. Okay. And there we go.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Go.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
Took most of it. Just snuck up on me.
That damaged your suit. Energy dampening is down to 60%.
Oh no! No.
We're almost to the regulator.
We're at the regulator point. Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
Yes, thank you.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
There we go. There we go.
EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chovac can...
Wow, really? Yeah, I forgot that happens.
Get down!
I don't want to get
Here's
hit
the
in
bridge.
face.
We just lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working.
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
All right, Starbase, we're on it.
Acknowledged.
Commander, hear me out.
I am hearing you out.
Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Chara?
Captain, you brought me here because you trusted me. Can you trust me now?
You better be sure you make the right decision.
The captain made himself quite clear.
I don't care!
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
Starbase, stand by. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, that was
Mark!
close.
Grab my hand! I got you.
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Now I gotta use the control fill out. Come on, motherfucker. Gotcha. Come on. There we go.
Look out!
I got you. Petty Officer Edselar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edselar there to access the interior.
Okay.
Roger that. Go in there now.
Really? Come on. I remember this part being ridiculously slow. Oh, here we go.
I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there!
You better be right behind me.
They're safe, bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
Yep, there we go. Bring it online. See, they're alive. Captain Solano's gonna be pissed. Yep, there's
Carter!
I think.
I'm okay. I'm okay. But that's a lot.
Here, let me help you.
Let's get it on.
Medical. We've got one wounded at my location. Millie.
Oh, man.
We'll see you at sickbay.
Yep. She'll be okay.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydeck, with me.
He's gonna yell at me, and I don't give a shit.
You disobeyed my orders.
Yes.
Well?
Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the information
You
I had.
disobeyed my orders!
Yes!
And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around.
Then it gets
My
around.
name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest, so here it is. Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order, but you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
Yeah.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit.
Yeah.
I guess we all are. And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either.
There
You
you
never
go.
really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to, you did what you had to. That'll have to be good enough for me.
You placed a lot of trust in me, bringing me here. I feel like I've let you down.
I brought you here for a reason. I'm still sure it was the right one.
Yeah.
Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs.
Oh, yes,
and we'll
we
set out
will.
for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we will. Alaska is a tall ship. Yes.
All departments reporting full mission readiness.
All right, let's go.
We've got our full
But
complement on board.
I'm gonna have a slight
This
issue.
is my favorite moment, right
We're gonna
now.
have a slight issue in a
The
second.
start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
Docking clamps released.
Be on our way now.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
Off we go. Off we go on our mission. Hopefully we won't get killed.
That should do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
You know what? You take this one.
Me?
That's what he just said.
Engage.
Simple, but effective.
I'm gonna be getting off of this channel right there. See?
Easy.
I don't even get to
Thank
sit
you.
down.
I'm fine. Really, You don't look so good.
I'd better do something.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Yeah?
Commander, help me get her inside.
Yep. There we go. Yep, there's my Duridium infusion.
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Yeah. Almost died.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on her, but she'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself.
Yeah.
Your duridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're...
Rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the duridium you need to survive.
Yeah.
Yet you joined Starfleet, and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
I don't like the attention it brings. Being treated differently than everyone else.
But you are different. That's not something you can change.
True. But sometimes it makes it even more difficult than it already is.
And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit.
I agree with you.
He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. Breakthrough discovery. A major innovation. Something he can put his name on. But the more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take. People become blinded by their own ambition. I've seen it happen before.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. We need you now more than ever. And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge.
Yeah.
It took guts to defy a direct order.
Huh. I guess word travels fast around here.
It's in dark,
It's a
class
small
science ship,
ship.
but travels fast
And
everywhere.
everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure's almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
That is true.
Understood.
And my work here is done.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge.
Fine.
No one knew what was happening.
I can't even imagine what it must have looked like. I don't want people to get the wrong impression.
No, not at all. You don't have to feel embarrassed. Everyone understands this is part of what it means to be Kobliad. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
Alright, back to what we're doing. There's the shuttle. So what's wrong with the shuttle bridge?
Complete the
Thank you.
diagnostic sequence, and this shuttle will be cleared for service.
Yes, sir.
The storm in the
Let's do
Hotari
that.
region will interfere with our transporters, so we need all available shuttlecraft in working order.
Alright, let's take care of this.
Excuse me, Commander Trovak.
Petty Officer Maris, I will leave you to your work.
I stopped by sickbay and saw Nilly. I figured you'd want to know.
Did she say anything about... Is she mad at me for going in the hatch first?
She had some
Why would
choice
she be?
words.
She fucking
I
told
tried
you
to
go
smooth things
first.
over, but I think you're gonna have to make things right with her yourself. Dr. Duval said she'll be back on
Why?
duty
She
soon, though.
said me go first. What the fuck?
Come on. I have to run the final diagnostic.
Yes, there will be swearing on this channel.
I can't stay
I
long.
made that clear from day one.
I've got a long to-do list before we get to Hotari, and things are piling on faster than I can check them off.
Keep piling.
We're making all our last-minute checks and security, too.
We'll be
Tactical and security are short-staffed.
Well, nothing's ever 100%. But we'll be good to go.
ready. Yes, we
And
will.
if you wait until you are ready, it's probably too late. Which is why I didn't want to wait for just the right time. I had a chance to think about this while I was away. Then you and Nilly almost got killed out on the hall. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse.
Yes.
Miranda, is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Maybe even better than fine. What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time. But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
This is all kind of unexpected.
I didn't expect this either. But here we are.
Sorry if you heard that I bumped my
And I didn't want to ignore it.
accidentally.
I just figured I'd steer right into it. Well, What do you think? I've been about as direct as I can stomach. You can do that too. Be direct with me.
That's a lot to think about.
I know it is.
Like Nilly a little better.
So, maybe I should think it over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, take as long as you need. I get it. But don't leave me hanging. I just don't want this to be weird now.
It might be weird a little bit.
Nilly saw it coming. She said it might make things uncomfortable if I said something. And that's the last thing I want. You're important to me. If that wasn't obvious.
We're always going to be friends, Miranda. No matter what. Like those three musketeers.
Musketeers.
Yeah, see, you even know the stuff I don't.
And there were actually 4 of them.
What would I do without you?
Level 1 diagnostic complete.
You've got some thinking to do. Just don't take too long.
I'll take my time. Alright, let's finish this diagnostic and be done with it. That's it. Alright. Part.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Ionic interference surging, Captain.
Shield
We just get hit by an
holding.
asteroid.
We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydeck, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types.
There we go.
I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
There's the shuttle. Oh.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering. Losing.
I can't get it any clearer. We won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Here we go.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Diaz. First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
Gotcha. I remember that.
We're pulling in debris.
I'm on it.
Oh, come on, really? I know!
That's gonna take out the shuttle. Diaz, the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydeck, plot an intercept course.
On it.
Alright, let's plot the intercept course and done.
we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Got it.
Whoa! Someone's working hard on the bridge.
There we go. Shuttle's in. Almost killed the shuttle, but okay.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
There we go.
Terra firma,
Ambassador
so
Spock.
to speak.
Ambassador Spock. The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Apologies for the landing, Ambassador. I was operating the tractor beam, sir. I take responsibility.
It was not the smoothest transit, but you got us here safely. That is what matters. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space. But it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable.
Quite a few years ago.
So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered.
Yeah.
It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical, Petty Officer...
Carter Diaz. Sir.
Yep.
Thank you.
Ambassador Spock.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
Captain Solano.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
Yeah.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
You are a legend, Ambassador. There's not an officer in Starfleet that doesn't know of your career.
I would never assume that to be the case.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
Ilidia and Hotari. The Ilidians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Ilidians have shared a mining operation there. The Ilidians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Ilidians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
Federation mediation. There's a whole plot to this.
Have the Ilidians retaliated against the Hotari? Or taken any action against them?
Surprisingly, they have not yet responded in kind. They were open to a Federation presence, but it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Ilidian fleet in open war. Left unchecked,
we'll see.
This conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
That is correct.
The Hotari just won their independence. It's hard to believe they would give that up just for profit.
I agree. It would be exceedingly difficult to bring the Hotari to that position.
Neither the Ilidians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Ilidians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
That means the Hotari have no reason to trust us.
I wouldn't go that far, Commander.
We are completely neutral in this matter, on neither one side nor the other. Any suggestion otherwise would compromise our position. Given the Federation's involvement in the Ilidium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels, and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the ion storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Ilidian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past. But they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
It is a perfect storm.
That may answer why the Hotari were able to strike back after so long. They finally had an opportunity, and they took it.
That would also explain the Ilidians' restraint.
And reason to learn as much about the energy anomaly as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught at a disadvantage of our own. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Have to.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Yep.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case.
Yeah.
It would be unconventional, but I'm not opposed to it.
I'm perfectly happy to work outside the lines.
And by extension, you will be doing your duty, Commander.
Just not too far outside the lines. Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock?
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with. I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
When you look at it logically, yes, it is just a shuttle. No different than any of the others.
There is plenty that is different about it, and that is what you are to investigate. But please limit your findings to observable scientific phenomena.
We'll try to restrain ourselves.
Then I will leave you to it. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
One nice thing about Vulcans. Chovak is the only person who didn't look at this and treat me like I was something to pity. Doc says I should get used to it. Doesn't mean I want to be reminded of it every minute of the day.
I'm sorry I went first.
Now that sounds like self-pity, and I'm even less interested in that.
But Nilly... Okay.
Let's just crack the shuttle open and see what we're dealing with.
Okay.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
Diagnostic. Begin.
So... I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation. Yes or no, that's one thing. But I can't believe you said you needed to think about it.
I did need to think about it.
Well, you can't leave this unsettled. It's not fair to her. She was direct with you.
I agree.
Didn't play games. Neither should you.
I just want to stay friends with her. I like being friends. I don't want to ruin that.
Then you should tell her that. Don't keep her on the hook. Is that thing done?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown, but the backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something.
Let's go to the data recorder, see what we got.
Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Let's find out.
Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code.
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Yeah, I'll say.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation.
Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
They're all the same. Subspace variance out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely broken.
It does. This is USS Excelsior. That's great. I wonder if it's the Galileo.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
Grayson. Ah, I didn't notice that. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to leave this video here, and we'll pick it up again in the next one. That being said, like, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.